Alright guys, American Trucker here with another video. I am still on home time, but that is about to change. I have finally made a decision. I made a decision a few weeks back on where I'm going to go next. As you know, if you watch my channel, I was finishing up a lease with Prime Inc. And I finished it up back in actually late September, so I've taken a few months off, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, what my next move was. So what I did was I made enough money in 1 year with Prime in 2022. I made enough money in a year with Prime to buy my own truck. Now I did go back and forth. I looked into loans. I got good credit, so that's not an issue. I had the money for the down payment. That wasn't an issue. I was gonna put a down payment down of, I was gonna put about $25,000 down. Is what I was gonna do, and then finance the rest, and that way I could keep it was hard for me to let go of a bunch of cash at one time, so that was my thinking originally, and then keep some in the bank until I got going, got my wheels turning. But I went back and forth with the guy at the loan office about the truck, and it just didn't sit well with me on the interest. I'm almost done with interest for the rest of my life. I mean, maybe a house, but it's just going to be hard from this point forward, especially with the money that I'm making in trucking now, to pay any more interest on anything. And I looked at the payback. I would have paid it off early, the truck that I'm buying, even if I would have got a loan. But if I didn't, you know, how much you pay back in interest, I just couldn't stomach it. So if you know, the reason why I stopped leasing at Prime, I finished my lease. I signed a contract for a certain amount of time to lease with Prime. I finished that lease, and it was time to re-up, and I didn't want to re-up because I was leasing something. I don't like leasing or renting, whatever you want to call it. So that was the whole reason why I took some time off to figure out what I was going to do next. And then I decided to buy my own truck, and I was looking into a loan, but just like I don't like to lease or rent, I also don't like to pay interest. Alright, so what I did was, let me back up just for a second. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm retired military, and I live off that income. So every single thing that I make in trucking, I put every single dime into the bank. And I did that for an entire year at Prime. I put every single penny in the bank working for Prime. And I made, and I don't care to tell it, so it's not like it's nothing anybody else can't do. I made it as a brand new rookie. I worked my butt off, right? I spent way more time on the road than I did at home, which is, you know, the trap that some people fall into. They do the opposite sometimes. And I worked, I grind. Every 7 days a week when I was out there, I'd be out to 4 to 6 weeks at a time, and I'd come in 7 days, 10 days max at a time. And that was how I ran my truck. I had extremely good luck. I had zero breakdowns in 12 months working for Prime. I had to get oil change and things like that, but I had a check engine light come on, and I had a O2 NOx sensor, I think, was out. But I talked to the guys at Prime, and they said, yeah, it'll last you until you go back on home time, don't worry about it, and then when you go on home time, turn it in, which is what I did, and it was fixed in a day, and I was in for 7 days already anyways, so it didn't take me off the road. Whenever I came in for home time, I turned the truck in and get it looked at and got it fixed. 24 hours later it was done, but I still had another 6 days I was staying at home anyways. So that didn't cost me anything. So I am fortunate there. I know some people have some really bad luck on their trucks. So I've just been kind of blessed all the way around as far as being able to put all this in the bank, have good luck, not have any breakdowns, and a good work ethic, which accounts for a lot. And I made a little over $100,000 my first year at Prime. And some people that work for Prime that's done the exact same thing, they're going to look at this and go, yeah, that can be done. I did the same thing, or close to it. depending on the person. And then some people who don't work for Prime, or some people probably never even drove a truck in their life, they're going to put in the comments below, you wait and see. They're going to say, oh, there's no way you can do that. You can't make that much money working for a mega carrier, or blah blah blah. It's just, you got to do your own research, do your own fact checks, and then consider the source that you're listening to when anybody tells you anything about money, especially because everybody likes to sound cool. Everybody wants to say they made $200,000 in the first year, and I think $100,000, that was my goal, and I wasn't really sure if that was true, but I heard you could make that much your first year at Prime. Matter of fact, Rob Lowe himself, the owner of Prime, he will tell you that you can do it, and I am living proof right now that you can do it. I absolutely did it. And anybody that sees me at Prime, or anybody out of truck stop, or any point in time, if you want to meet up with me and I'm close by, you can pick any month you want between December of 2021 until this video, until I stop leasing with Prime, and I'll show you my paychecks. I have every one of them saved, so it's not a big deal. So anybody that wants to contest that, say you can't make that much money, you didn't make that much money, or whatever the case may be, I don't really need to prove anything to anybody, but I don't want people thinking that it can't be done and you can't do it yourself, right? I did it as a brand new rookie, straight out CDL school, got my CDL, went to Prime, very first company, and killed it my first year. Now, since then, things have changed. Freight overall is down, and the interest rate, everything's just affecting trucking, supply, demand, all that stuff. So I'm not sure exactly if you could do that right now, and this is January 2023 for the next calendar year, but the money is there. I think if you're a brand new guy and you're thinking about getting into trucking, the money is there, especially if you're working at McDonald's or Walmart or a grocery store or something. You're making $20,000, $30,000. I promise you're going to at least double your paycheck, if not triple, even in this economy, even in this market, at least with Prime. If you get on with Prime, I can't guarantee it, but I almost guarantee you can make $75,000 easily, pretty easily, your first year leasing with Prime. Now there's leasing, there's company. I don't know what you can make company. You might be able to make that company as well, but I'm telling you, you can make that leasing with Prime. There's no reason why anybody couldn't make $75,000 their first year, even in this economy, trucking economy. Anyways, so I took every bit of that money and spent 95% of it. I bought a truck, and I bought a couple other things. I bought a used truck because I didn't want to do the loan, pay back that interest. So I went ahead and just spent that money on a truck. So now I have no truck payment. I bought it free and clear. I bought it actually from Prime's fleet of trucks that they keep up. So I feel pretty comfortable knowing where it came from, knowing that Prime keeps up on their maintenance. They do very well on their trucks and their trailers. And then, of course, they put brand new tires on all the way around if you buy one from them. If you buy one from them, what you do is you go through what's called Pedigree Truck Sales. And if you've ever been to Prime, to their terminal right there at the very front, the main building you go in, where right beside where you go in and out when you get your trailer inspected every time you go on the yard, there's actually Pedigree Truck Sales is right there right where dispatching is. So if you're not familiar with that, you got to look for that. You should go over there and talk to them, especially if you're in your first year or second year. It don't really matter. If you ever even thought about buying a truck, go talk to them and look at some of their used trucks, and those tell you all about it, what they have available, and kind of you can go from there if you're thinking about buying a used truck for your first truck. So that's what I did. So that's going to eliminate about $1,000 a week payment that I was making when I was leasing before. So that's going to help quite a bit. I mean, I was paying actually $1,024, and that was for a 2019 truck. I was paying $1,024 a week, and now I think they're probably paying like maybe over $1,100, maybe even close to $1,200 a week for a 2023 if you go leasing with Prime now. But so that's basically going to be a $4,000 in my pocket, the way I see it, more per week or per month, $1,000 more per week, because I'm actually going to lease on with Prime. Yes, you can buy your own truck. If if it fits within their specs, you can go right back doing the exact same thing what I was doing, which is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to lease on with Prime with my own truck, which is different than the lease purchase program. The lease purchase is just that. You can look up, see what lease purchase, what that means exactly. But at the end of the lease purchase, you own your own truck as well, and I guess at that point you're leased on with Prime. I'm not sure exactly how that works at the end of the program once you own the truck, but probably the same way I would think. But I literally bought my own truck. I paid cash for it. I got the title and called Prime back up after exploring a lot of different avenues. There was many different things I was contemplating on doing, and decided in this economy, in this trucking market, Prime with contracted freight, me buying my first truck, I kind of going to play it a little bit safe to start with, then I'll see what happens from there. So bottom line is, I bought a 2019 Freightliner Cascadia, which is the exact same thing I was driving before. And I bought that because, yeah, that's not as comfortable as a Peterbilt. They don't ride as smooth over bumps and things like that. I get all that. The resale value is probably not quite as high or whatever, but I'm still in the mode of whatever I can do to save the most money. And for me, that comes down to maintenance, right? And freight. The one I had extremely good luck with it. That don't mean the one I bought, which is a different truck, it's not the same one. That don't mean the one I bought is going to have the same luck. And it's got more miles on it now, so I got to start putting money back more and more for maintenance. That's going to start coming into play more than it did before. But at $1,000 a week, I can put back some maintenance money pretty quick at that rate. And then if I have good luck for 6 to 12 months, maybe semi-good luck, I'll still feel like I've done pretty well. So that's kind of the route I'm on, in case you guys are wondering. I'll be leasing on with Prime. Everything's pretty much the same. All the expenditures and everything pretty much the same as when you're just doing a lease, as far as leasing on. And if you're not sure the difference between lease and leasing on, again, leasing is you're basically renting a truck from someone, and at the end of the day you give it back. You don't get no equity in it. I bought my own truck outright, and now I'm leasing on to Prime, meaning I'm running underneath their authority and their insurance, which you get a steep discount because they got so many trucks, things like that. So I'm still running underneath Prime's authority, but with my own truck. Nothing's going to change about the way I run that business. I'm going to try to duplicate what I did. It's just now I won't have a $1,000 a week truck payment, which will be nice, especially on those short weeks. Because even when I was leasing, I made really good money per week. But there was weeks every once in a while where you just had a bad week. Maybe it was broke down. Maybe you're coming off home time or whatever the case may be, and you may have a $1,500 a week. But in this case, that was also me paying $1,000. So if I have a $1,200 a week, which is not a good week leasing, in my opinion, that $1,200 a week, not good week, will actually be a $2,200 a week because I won't have a truck payment. So those average weeks, $2,000 to $3,000 weeks, and you get people tell you all kinds of stories, but those average weeks for me, those $2,000 to $3,000 weeks, are going to be now $3,000 to $4,000 weeks average, because $1,000 more a week in my pocket that I'm not making a truck payment. And then the big thing is, the really big thing that I'm really going to enjoy is not stressing how much time I take off, which I'm still going to try to duplicate what I did before. Don't take no more than 7 to 10 days off. That's spending 4 to 6 weeks out, 7 to 10 days off. But those days that I'm taking off, I'm not making a truck payment like I was when I was leasing. So I'm not going backwards or in the hole, they say. At least not for the whole payment. Now, you still got to keep up your insurance for that week, your fixed costs other than your lease payment if you were leasing. I'll still have those fixed costs because that's not going to change. ELD, pre-pass, all that stuff. But I won't have a truck payment, which is the huge bulk of it. The fixed cost whenever you're on home time, that makes you go in the hole. So I'll go in the hole probably $200 a week versus $1,200 a week like before when I was leasing. So it won't take me long at all. One day and I'll be out of the hole making money again when I come back off home time. So that'll be a big relief. And then I I've already kind of got some ideas of what I want to do next, but I'll save that for later. And I'm gonna do a video on taxes here pretty soon. You know, my first year, so I had a big learning curve on that, but it's things you really need to know. So I'm about home now, so I'm going to end this video. Appreciate you guys. If you want to subscribe, like, comment, share this with anybody, I would appreciate it. And stay tuned, and I'll kind of let you know what I'm doing next in my adventure. All right, guys, American Trucker, I'm out.